Hi there. Today we're talking about a truck that does not shout, does not pose, and definitely does not care about looking heroic in photographs. This is the Dodge T-110, introduced in 1937, a machine that feels less like a showpiece and more like a handshake from a factory worker who expects you to get the job done. If European trucks of the same era often felt like carefully engineered instruments, the Dodge T-110 felt like something built in work boots, with rolled-up sleeves and no patience for nonsense. The Dodge T-110 was born in a very American moment. The United States was climbing out of the Great Depression, factories were waking up again, and businesses needed trucks that were simple, affordable, and brutally dependable. Dodge did not aim to reinvent transport. Instead, they focused on something far more practical, a truck that could be produced in numbers, repaired anywhere, and driven by people who cared more about delivery schedules than engineering philosophy. Visually, the T-110 looks honest to the point of being blunt. Rounded fenders, a tall grille, a short hood, and a compact cab that wastes no space. Nothing is decorative. Nothing is accidental. If a panel exists, it exists because it has a job to do. This truck does not flirt with you. It clocks in and waits for instructions. Under the hood sat a 6-cylinder petrol engine from Dodge's Flathead inline family. Displacement was about 3.6 liters. Power output hovered around 80 horsepower, depending on tuning. But horsepower was never the headline. The real strength of the engine was torque. It produced approximately 250 newton-meters of torque, around 184 pound-feet, delivered smoothly and early. This meant the T-110 did not need drama to move a load. It pulled steadily, calmly, like a worker who knows the shift is long and paces himself. Power went to the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual gearbox. No tricks, no shortcuts. Just gears, linkages, and mechanical honesty. Top speed was roughly 65 kilometers per hour, approximately 40 miles per hour, and that was perfectly fine. The Dodge T-110 was not built to arrive first. It was built to arrive at all, every day, without excuses. Payload capacity placed the T-110 firmly in the light to medium category. Depending on body configuration, it could carry around 1,500 to 2,000 kilograms. Approximately 3,300 to 4,400 pounds. That made it ideal for tradesmen, small factories, farms, and delivery companies. The ladder frame chassis was strong and conservative, designed to survive years of loading, unloading, and occasional abuse. And yes, many owners overloaded it anyway. The truck usually forgave them. In terms of size, the Dodge T-110 was compact by American standards, but substantial enough to feel serious. Overall length was about 5.8 meters, approximately 19 feet. Width measured around 2.1 meters, approximately 6.9 feet, and height reached roughly 2.3 meters, approximately 7.5 feet, depending on the body. The wheelbase, close to 3.6 meters, about 11.8 feet, gave the truck stable road manners without making it clumsy in city streets. Civilian life was where the T-110 earned its reputation. It worked as a flatbed, a box truck, a utility vehicle, and a general hauler. Farmers used it to move equipment and produce. Construction crews used it to transport materials. Municipal services relied on it for maintenance work. It was not a truck people bragged about, but it was a truck people depended on. And in America, that counts for a lot. Driving the T-110 felt physical. Steering at low speeds required strength. The suspension was firm because cargo mattered more than comfort. The cab was basic, functional, and not particularly quiet. Long days behind the wheel were tiring. But the truck rewarded drivers with predictability. It did what you told it to do, and it rarely surprised you. In an era before driver aids and electronics, that was a form of trust. As the late 1930s turned into the early 1940s, the world changed quickly. The United States began preparing for war, and the military started looking closely at civilian vehicles that could be adapted for service. The Dodge T-110 immediately made sense. It was simple, rugged, and easy to maintain. Many were taken into military use, either requisitioned or built to military specifications. In uniform, the T-110 became a support vehicle. It carried supplies, tools, equipment, and personnel. Painted in olive drab, fitted with canvas beds or specialized bodies, it worked behind the scenes. It was not a frontline star. It was the truck that made sure the frontline could exist at all. Military service also exposed the truck's limitations. Rear-wheel drive restricted off-road capability. In mud, snow, or sand, careful driving was required. These weaknesses were not failures. They were lessons. The experience gained from using trucks like the T-110 directly influenced Dodge's later military designs, especially the WC series, which introduced stronger frames, improved suspensions, and eventually four-wheel drive. In that sense, the T-110 was a teacher. It showed what worked, what didn't, and what needed to change. Without it, Dodge's wartime vehicles would not have evolved as quickly or as effectively. After the war, many T-110 trucks returned to civilian life. Sold as surplus, they went back to hauling, building, and delivering. Some worked well into the 1950s and beyond. Owners kept them running because they were simple to fix and cheap to maintain. Comfort was still minimal, speed was still modest, but reliability remained the key selling point. From a modern perspective, the Dodge T-110 feels slow, heavy, and demanding. There is no assistance, no automation, no comfort features. Every kilometer requires effort. But that effort creates connection. You feel the engine, the road, the load. The truck talks to you through vibration and sound, and once you learn its language, it becomes strangely satisfying to drive. Today, surviving Dodge T-110 trucks are appreciated as important transitional vehicles. They represent the moment when American civilian industry quietly shifted toward military readiness, long before most people realized what was coming. The T-110 did not fight battles, but it helped prepare a nation to fight them. The Dodge T-110 was never meant to be legendary. It was meant to work, and by doing exactly that, honestly, stubbornly, and without complaint, it earned its place in history. If you enjoy stories like this, where tough, blue-collar machines quietly shape the world, make sure to subscribe. There are many more hardworking legends waiting to be told.